with another edition of This Day in Black Baseball History. This is going to be a short edition because I'm planning on coming back with a part two later on this evening. Got a few things I've got to take care of, so I just don't have as much time right now. But I do have time to say this because I usually don't come on this early, so I may get some people who are new to this broadcast. And so, if you've been listening to my conversation. I've been going for the 755 subscribers, which I call my Hank Aaron number. And we're about 3 or 4 away. So if anybody's new and you've not heard me before and you want to get me there to that 755, the old Hank Aaron number, I would certainly appreciate that. And of course, we call it 755 Hank Aaron because that's how many career home runs he had in the American and National League. Of course, maybe about a couple of weeks ago, we passed the 716 number, which is the number he had in the National League. And guys, if you listen to me a lot, what you know is that I start to teach baseball through these numbers, these goals, this kind of thing. So anybody who's been listening to me knows now how many home runs Hank Aaron hit in the National, and now all what he's hit in the career. And now the next number we're going for after we hit this 755 is going to go for the Barry Bonds number. All right. And then we're going to go for the big Sahara O number after the Barry Bonds number, which is a little stretch. But I think we're going to get there before the end of April because it's been picking up and people are liking some of the things that we're doing here. Somebody says, hello there, sir. All right. Hey, where you calling from? This is, I can't, Love Jones. What's that? Reacts? At Love Jones Reacts. Okay. I hope I said that correct, right? So yeah, where are you joining from? And I always like to know that. And so yeah, I'm going to just give you a couple of things today related to baseball, and I won't be on long because I'm going to come back with a part two. All right, so let's go. Now, remember, this is my April 7th, 2026 edition of This Day in Black Baseball History. So let's take something first. Let's go over to Atlantic City, New Jersey, where for the second consecutive day, the Philadelphia Giants defeated Newark of the Eastern. Actually, Newark at that particular time were in the International League, and they beat them by a score of 6-4. Now, this is at the time that nobody thought the Philadelphia Giants could beat them except a lot of hometown rooters. They knew that they could beat them. And so they played the Newark team, who's one step under the American and National League. And they only had 8 teams in the American and National League at that time. So there were a lot of ball players who were really good, but they weren't on that team or they would be in the minor leagues, right? So keep in mind that this Newark team is no pushover, all right? So Dan McQuillan went the distance. He's a great left-hander. Man, I could make a good argument for Dan McQuillan being on the Hall of Fame consideration list. I could make a great argument for that. This guy was going to win you 30 games every year for at least 20 years, or at least 10 guaranteed that he was going to win you. So that's 300 wins right there. Now you say, people can say, oh, well, who were those wins against? Well, I tell you what, if you hit a home run against anybody, it feels good. If you get a victory against anybody, it feels good. But these games had 4, 5, 6, 7, sometimes 1,500 people in these towns that they played. So evidently, somebody thought that this was a game worth seeing and paying your money for. So in my estimation, if they paid for it, I'm taking it to the bank. So that's the reason I'll say he had 30 plus wins, right? And he was a superb hitter, a great hitter. So he was like one of the greatest hitting pitchers of that era. Rube Foster wasn't a bad hitting pitcher either. So, but I think Dan McQuillan was a little bit better than Rube with not as much power. All right. So anyway, so he won that game, and it took timely hitting and a 5-run first inning to guarantee the win. Of course, as I said, Dan McQuillan went all the way. And so just want to let you know that that's a good series. And I wrote about that series in a book. I don't have a copy of it right around me right now, but it's my American Baseball Chronicles, the 1905 Philadelphia Giants. and I am doing a revision of that book, and I think you're going to love the revision if I can ever get it finished. It's just been busy with all the things I'm doing here. So once again, guys, remember, I'm trying to go for the 755 subscribers. So if you're new and you like this kind of conversation, by all means, become a subscriber. You know, it doesn't cost you anything, but it does let you know when I'm coming on, right? And so I come on live, and then I've been sending more videos in the past week probably than I did in the last year. And I haven't had this broadcast a year yet. So I've laid down probably close to 450 some odd tracks of videos and shorts and live. So if you want to know something about Negro League Baseball, guys, you're in the right place, all right? If you want to know something about Americana, I can go there as well. All right, so let me give you another one here. How about here's a guy that you probably never heard of, but you're going to hear of him today. And this occurred in August the 7th, 1935, in a game played in Greenwood, Mississippi. Suitcase Charles Mason homered twice for the Omaha Tigers in an 8-1 victory over the Greenwood All-Stars. Now, what's interesting about this Omaha Tigers, you ever heard of the Omaha Tigers? The first time I was introduced to them was through Piper Davis. Piper Davis played for the Omaha Tigers right around this time. And Piper Davis goes on to be the first African American signed by the Boston Red Sox. Never made it up to the team, but Piper was an interesting guy. Played basketball for the Harlem Globetrotters and a few other teams. And he lived down in Birmingham, and I went to his house, and well, we had some great conversations. But Lorenzo Piper Davis was on that particular team. He told me a story. He told me a story that one time they were playing in a town, and the game was a night game, and turns out that they couldn't get to the next town, and because the game ended up late, so they had to stay in that town. And this particular town had no lodging for African Americans. So the sheriff, they were talking to the local sheriff, and he said, "Hey, I can fix you up." So he took them to the jail and put them in the jail overnight, and that's where they slept, in the jail. You can't make this stuff up. Piper Davis told me this story, and that was something that happened when he was with the Omaha Tigers years before he played with the Birmingham Black Barons. Yeah, with the Omaha Tigers, and I do have a photograph of Piper Davis with the Omaha Tigers. I don't know if I've ever put that picture in any book or anything. I don't believe I have, but I certainly have it in my collection, right? I have a copy of it. This was originally belonged to Piper, so he allowed me to make a copy of it, and that was 30 years ago. So, guys, that is something. In case you've never heard of Suitcase Charles Mason, I guarantee you, if you follow Black baseball, you've heard of Lorenzo Piper Davis, right? So now, keep in mind, that's the two things. I'm going to give you one more I think is kind of important. Now, remember, if you're not a subscriber, become one. I only need 3 or 4 more to get to the 755, guys. I'm chomping at the bit, use an old harsh term from way back, right? So anyway, I'm going to give you another one. And how about April the 7th, 1972? American Giant and Memphis Red Sox actually played for the Chicago American Giants, played for the Indianapolis ABCs. A great catcher. Ernest Larry Brown died in Memphis, Tennessee. He was born in Pratt City, Alabama in 1901. And I had the pleasure of including him in a Ted Williams baseball card set back in, I think it was 1990, maybe 94, I think it was. And so if you ever see that card, if you flip it over, and you'll see down in the very bottom of there, and it has my name as being a contributor, making it happen. I supplied the photograph, wrote the copy for Mr. Brown. And I had the pleasure of interviewing his widow down in Memphis many years ago. And she was a great lady. And so she really keyed me into who Larry Brown was. And of course, Dolores Brown, who follows me, she is his daughter-in-law. So Dolores, hopefully you get this. I'm going to send it to you when I get off and let you know that I did talk about Larry tonight. And let me tell you something about Larry. Larry was a great catcher, a great catcher. This guy had over a 20-year career. Now, He doesn't get talked about for the Hall of Fame or anything like that. But let me tell you something. There's a guy in the Hall of Fame who played at the same time. His name was Raymond Shalk. He went by Ray Shalk, Shalk. And he's in the Baseball Hall of Fame, right? Yeah, he was there for his defensive ability because he didn't hit very well. I think he had like a 250, 53 lifetime average or something like that. So he wasn't like a great hitter, but he's there for his defense. I would tell you right now, Larry Brown was as good a defensive player as that guy. So if he's in the Hall of Fame, Larry Brown should be there as well. Also, I can tell you Frank Duncan, who played caught for the Kansas City Monarchs, should also be there. And I can think, hey, I'll give you another Monarch that should be there. How about T.J. Young? T.J. Young was the best hitter of all three of those guys and a darn good catcher. So there's some guys who really made their mark in black baseball, but they are still being cheated to this very day. And guys, when I started this 40 years ago, if I went to anywhere, and the average fan that follows this now, if I went to their parents, because some of them were too young, if I went to their parents, they wouldn't know who these players were, guys. And I took it upon myself at age 23 to begin telling these guys histories. And I went out and I would spend my last dime to go and interview a ball player, a family member, a widow. I used to get in my car, guys, and I had back when I first started doing this history, I had I had two cars. I had a 67 GTO, and man, I should have never sold that car. And I had probably about 1982, I had a Subaru, a brand new Subaru. And so I would get in my car and I would go and interview ball players. And because of that, guys, a lot of this history and photographs and was all saved. It was all saved. If you ever go to the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum, guys, you will see pictures on the wall that I can tell you a story behind each one of those pictures that no one can tell you because I was the one who helped to get that picture saved. And a lot of these ball players, when they passed away, their scrapbooks either were tossed out, I don't know. But I was able to save a lot of good history. And so I am happy that I have gone full circle. And so people like Larry Brown, guys, I'm telling you, you know what? I'm not trying to inflate his ability, but I'm telling you guys, you don't play 20 something years and you play in Cuba, right? You play in Mexico if you don't know something about the game, guys. And he was a manager too. This guy, Larry Brown, you should remember this name because, man, I'm going to be working until I get him in somebody's Hall of Fame, right? Larry Brown. And so, guys, yeah, he passed away on this date, 1972. Where were you in 72? Well, I think I was in 72. I was in the 11th grade. And so, but here I am all these years later. I'm not in the 11th grade anymore, as you can tell, right? But I'm still able to talk about these ball players in a meaningful way. And hopefully, guys, this will mean something to you enough to get me my 3 or 4 subscribers that I need tonight. So I'm going to come back a little bit later on and we'll do a part 2 because it'll be a whole new round of people that I don't know who they are. And people just kind of pick you up. So I appreciate that. So we have some people in here. So Love Jones reacts. That's a different. And the one there, we got looks like a Tyrone Gibson, but it's Gibbson. Sometimes I hate to mention these names because some of the spelling. Got a Malcolm Bryan here, and somebody said, I guess I don't know if that's Leah or Lee 185. Guys, somebody said, how are you? Well, I hope everybody's doing fine. And guys, when you come on, in the future, let me know where you're joining from because I'm well traveled. And I might have gone to your town. And the unique thing about me is if I went there 40 years ago, sometime I can tell you still the place I went and call the name out. But I probably in my lifetime, guys, I'd be willing to bet you that I've done at least 800 to 900 personal appearances. That's a lot. And so, guys, if I can remember half of those, I call that a good day, right? But what's amazing is, guys, I probably remember 75% of those. And people come to me, and sometimes my wife asks me, she'll see something on the news, or she'll be talking to someone, and they'll say, I'm from so and so. My wife said, I think we've been there. And she'll call me on the telephone. She said, did we go there? Yeah, I said, yeah. And I can almost tell her what year and where we were and everything. So, and then that helps to jog her memory, right? But so, guys, it's been my honor to just come with this little short broadcast. So I'm going to come back. So I certainly appreciate you guys coming in. So hopefully I found one or two subscribers, and then we'll get the rest tonight. All right. So thank you. I'm going to go out here and take care of a few things. When I come back, I'm going to give you some information on the Chicago American Giants, and then I've got some information I'm going to give you on a team down in Ocala, Florida. Interesting place. They had a race ride down there. Then I'm going to tell you about some guys from Carrollton, Missouri, which is where my family were enslaved in that area. And then I'm going to tell you about a guy named Joe Green and something he had to say about Jack Johnson. All right. So I will be back, and so hopefully you'll be back as well. So this is Phil Dixon, and I'm coming in with another edition of This Day in Black Baseball History. And in this conversation, I guarantee you, I won't stop it as long as you guys keep wanting it, right? And I will come back. And somebody said, let me see, Tweet Webb to induct into me. Okay, hey, that would be great. Tweet Webb. I don't know. Okay, that's Roger Webb. Hey, that's great news. Tweet was the man. I'm telling you. His Tweet Webb was a baseball historian out of St. Louis, and he's going to be inducted into the St. Louis Media Hall of Fame. Man, I wish I could be there. He was a legendary figure. Man, I respected him so much, and he helped me so much as a young guy. And he had a famous saying. He said, his famous saying, I've seen them all. And man, you know what? I can't say I've seen them all, but I can say I interviewed a whole lot of them. How about that? That's as close as I can get to Tweet Webb saying. But yeah, he was one of the legendary historians who doesn't get enough due. Now, I would tell you a way that you can learn more about Tweet Webb. Recently, they put the St. Louis Argus newspaper online, so you have to find out which source has that newspaper, and you can go in and Google Tweet Webb's name, and you can read the best of his articles. Yeah, man, he covered the Tandy League like a glove. So yeah, that's one thing you can do if you want to learn more about Tweet Webb. And so I'm just so proud to have known Tweet Webb. And help me out now. Remember, I was telling somebody I got this memory, right? But I think didn't Tweet Webb live on Enright? Wasn't that the street he lived on in St. Louis? I think it was Enright, if I'm correct. I know Cool Papa Bell lived on Dixon Street, which it was kind of like my name was Dixon, but his was Dickson. But now it is Cool Papa Bell Street. So Roger said, yes, all right. Hey, my memory's still intact. I'm trying to be like your dad. He had a great memory too. So I want to be like him. So anyway, guys, I do want to thank you. And I will be back this evening. And yeah, I need to let the world know that Tweet Webb. So if you can email me, I certainly would appreciate that. Or if you can send me a message through Messenger, let me know a little bit more about it. At least I can send a letter or do something. But I am so glad to recognize you. And I'm telling you what, don't stop there. Go for the Missouri Hall of Fame, Missouri Sports Hall of Fame in Springfield. He should be there as well, right? He should be there as well. And I'm going to keep saying that until somebody hears me, all right? So thank you, guys. I will be back. I will be back, I guarantee you. Now, I don't know what time I'm going to be back, but I'm going to be back. So hopefully I can get back before 10 o'clock tonight. So thank you, guys. I've got a meeting. Believe it or not, I've got a church meeting, a trustee meeting. So I got to get on that meeting at 7 o'clock. So excuse me, guys. I'm going to go off, get on that meeting, and I will be back. All right. Have a good evening. And thanks, everybody, for joining. Hopefully, I got those 3 or 4 subscribers that I needed to get that 755 Hank Aaron number. Bye.